Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Welcome back to the desert. It's Cactus League Baseball from Peoria, Arizona. On a beautiful day today, the 25th season of Peoria Stadium. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres meeting in spring training baseball. We welcome you inside Peoria Stadium. Don Orsillo along with Mark Sweeney. Welcome to Padres baseball. Well, last year, young Dinelson Lamet ended up with 21 starts for the Padres. This year, he's looking to lock down a spot in the rotation.
Yeah, exciting right-hander that came onto the scene last year. They were wondering what they were going to get from this young right-hander. Only 25 years old, but you saw the power fastball immediately. Going past all of these bats, but then came the slider. This is a devastating pitch. They're very excited about it. They would like to have him work on a third pitch, but that's going to be interesting moving forward. But this young man has a bright future, and the Padres are very excited for him to earn a spot in this rotation.
It is amazing that last year he ended up with 21 total starts, making his Major League debut in May of last year. And, of course, last season spending time in El Paso as well. Last year with the Padres, pretty impressive in the limited time we saw him.
Yeah, and you know what? He has the ability to not only rack up the strikeouts. I think he needs to work on the walk total, but he has the presence on the mound I think everyone enjoys.
Certainly high expectations all the way around for the San Diego Padres. When we come back, Bob Scanlon will check in with the manager, Andy Green, on his expectations. It's next from Peoria right after this. ready for his start against the Dodgers. Before we get it started, let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Bob Scanlon.
Well, thank you, Don. You know, ever since Andy Green took over as manager of the Padres, he's not only spoken about the need to make a culture change in the clubhouse, he has taken action throughout the organization to affect those changes. Well, now they're 3 years into the transformation, and whether you talk to people inside the organization or outside, there's no question that there's been a sea change. But one thing that hasn't changed is his message to his players, which is about commitment and conviction to not only seeing themselves, but pushing themselves to be champions. Here's Andy's take on the mindset that he expects out of his players.
This seat from this clubhouse is like show up with the intent to play in the postseason this year. No matter what everybody else says about it, no matter how anybody laughs at or says it's not possible, like the people that suit up for us, you suit up with the conviction that you're going to get there. And like that conviction is starting to build within our clubhouse. And I think some of the additions, some of the investments from ownership, like it becomes an easier thing to believe within the clubhouse. And when belief leads out talent, you can do anything. And we're on the cusp of doing great things. We know there's a lot of work left ahead, but there's no like, hey, let's keep the bar low and let's keep expectations low. It's no, within that clubhouse, it's about getting to the postseason, and there's really no other message now.
There is no other message now. Those are the words of Andy Green, and it's his mind. If you don't see this team go into the postseason, then you don't belong in the Padres clubhouse. He has never lowered his expectations for his players, and the measuring stick for him has always been championship baseball. And right now, he feels he's right on the cusp of his vision becoming a reality. Cactus League Baseball coming up next. It'll be the Padres taking on the Dodgers.
Eric Hosmer gets his first hit in the Padres uniform here during the spring.
He has made some simple adjustments in the offseason, and he is seeing the benefits now.
A team
home of the San Diego Padres, where today the Dodgers and Padres will go head-to-head in spring training baseball. Some clouds above today and on the cool side, but lots of sunshine so far here today as the LA Dodgers are here and the Padres continue to roll along. In as well as Dave Roberts, of course, the manager and former Padre, who had a very good postseason last year right up until the end.
Yeah, and they were a talented club and battled the Houston Astros, who went on for the championship but represented the National League very well.
Taylor, the shortstop, with Peterson in center. Tolles coming back healthy this year in left field. Grandal, the DH. Muncy at third. LaCastro at second. Ramos in right, with Smith doing the catching. And Rios is at first base for the Dodgers. On the mound today for the Padres is Dinelson Lamet.
Yeah, as we said in our open, the 25-year-old right-hander out of Dominican Republic. He showed very well. You see the numbers, 21 starts, which is really surprising. In those 114 innings, look at the punch-outs, 139. That has been impressive, but he has been very productive. He looked very comfortable on the mound. And also, he did it with mainly 2 pitches. It's going to be interesting to see if he works that third pitch in, which is the changeup.
Now check out defensively for the Padres today. Left to right in the outfield, it is Jose Pirela, who is in left field. Travis Jankowski getting a start in center. Renfroe around and right in the outfield for San Diego. Third to first, Carlos Villanueva with Fernando Tatis, Carlos Asuaje, and Eric Hosmer making his second straight start at first base. Doing the catching is Austin Hedges. Dinelson Lamet on the mound, ready to deal with Chris Taylor. He had a very good postseason last year.
Yeah, and then you look at the season, I think that was the surprise that put the offense for the Dodgers over the top. His presence, also his versatility, going from the infield to the outfield.
And Taylor standing in here, and the first pitch of the day from Dinelson Lamet will miss away for ball 1. 56 degrees as we get started here in Peoria today. We're looking at the numbers for Dinelson Lamet before the game, and I think if you told me that he had 21 starts last year, I would be very surprised. And I think we both were when we looked up that number today.
Yeah, because you see the innings, the body of work. He deserved every bit of those opportunities. And listen, there's a lot of stuff to work on, but he has the ability to have double-digit strikeouts when he takes them out. That's the type of stuff that he has.
Lamet vying for a spot in the rotation. Looks like there are 3 jobs that are open, and he certainly, I would think, would have the lead for one of those spots based on what he did last year. And this year, trying to add a third pitch, perhaps using that changeup more often.
That's going to be interesting to watch. And does he need a third pitch? I believe he does. As an offensive player, a starting pitcher typically had 3, maybe even 4 pitches. But because of that plus slider, he really had to take away from that, not use it as much last year. I think offensively, if you're looking at a pitcher that has 2 pitches, if you can eliminate a pitch, you're really focused on 1 pitch, and that's the fastball. So just showing that changeup, maybe even occasionally early in the game, might put another thought in the hitter's minds.
Something he's working on with Darren Balsley. Last year, 114 in the 3rd innings. For Dinelson Lamet in his major league debut. Taylor lines this down the right field line, and that'll be a fair ball headed for the corner. And the 340 marker is Taylor, who's in the second base standing with a leadoff double. Pretty good at bat to start the day. Fouls some pitches off and lines that one into the right field corner.
Well, as we talked about, Taylor was really the surprise of the Dodger offense last year. Produced early in the season, and it just continued all the way through the postseason. Very talented player.
So a double to get it started here in the first inning. It brings up Jock Peterson. Peterson at one point last year ended up back at AAA.
Yeah, and sometimes it looked like he was just trying to find his way. And I think the talent really it came into play at the end of the year last year. Had a huge home run in the World Series.
Short lead off second base by Taylor. Kind of held on by Tatis. Shooting in behind him from short. A leadoff double here for Taylor to get it started in the first inning. See how Lamet reacts to that leadoff double in the first. Lined and caught by Tatis into the air to make the grab. Back to the bag at second is Taylor. Hot shot, but right in the general direction of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about this young man, Tatis Jr. This is the top offensive product for the San Diego Padres, but you can see defensively, very large shortstop. A lot of people say he could possibly move off of shortstop, maybe third base, like a Manny Machado for the Orioles. But right now, very athletic play there.
So 1 out, and Taylor still at second base, brings up Andrew Tolles. In the air to deep right field. Back goes Renfroe at the wall, looking up, and it is gone into the berm. A 2-run home run for Andrew Tolles, and the Dodgers out to the 2-0 advantage. Now Tolles is back and healthy and driving one out of the yard today in Peoria.
Well, Tolles went down last year with an injury. This is one of Dave Roberts, the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers' favorite players. Why? Because he likes swinging the bat. Very aggressive approach, and you can see him taking that slider to right.
Bouncing back here after a season-ending injury last year, torn right ACL that he suffered, and off to a great start during the spring. Yasmani Grandal, the former Padres catcher, seems to feast on Padres pitching from time to time. Takes the breaking ball down and in.
Yeah, an interesting scenario for Yasmani Grandal coming in this year. Almost looked like Austin Barnes was trying to take that position and more of the starts in the playoffs. See what Dave Roberts and the Dodgers do moving forward.
22 home runs last year for Grandal. DHing today. Evens up at 2-2. Now the double by Taylor to start the inning. Jock Peterson lined out sharply to short, and then Andrew Tolles takes one out of the yard to right field, and the Dodgers jump on top here 2-0.
Well, Don, we always touch on what type of command pitchers have early in camp, those early starts. And you like to see from the perspective of the pitching coach evaluating, is the fastball command, is it located the right way? If you're looking for him to throw it in, is he missing in rather than over the plate? The inconsistency of the breaking ball is very commonplace down here in Arizona.
To throw a lot of pitches here in the first inning out of the gate, dealing with his fourth batter, and at 15 pitches under the watchful eye of Darren Balsley.
Yeah, the mentality of a young pitcher is really go and try to full throttle everything. Whereas a veteran pitcher will back off, be able to work on a specific thing that he's like trying to look for. But for Dinelson, it's really the fastball command early, and then hopefully the put-away slider.
Of course, into games much quicker this year than last year, or any year for that matter, with the regular season starting earlier and starting pitchers getting into games earlier this year, and then not having as many workouts available to them prior to appearing in some games.
Yeah, really adjustment for everybody. There's the put-away slider.
Grandal badly fooled. First strikeout for Lamet, 2 down here in the first inning.
Well, the previous pitch, he went fastball up and away. What does he do now? He goes with that slider down and in. Really fooling Grandal because he had to cheat on that fastball.
So his first K of the day, 2 down here in the first, and it brings up Max Muncy. .309, 12 homers, 44 RBIs a year ago. Primarily at AAA, played over 100 games. Dodgers dealing with some illness right now in the clubhouse. Several of the regulars have been scratched the last day or two, and Jin Ryu was supposed to start today's game, but he has been scratched due to illness, and we'll see Wilmer Font instead get the start for LA.
Yeah, that means you wash your hands because the flu's around. You got to be careful of that, especially being in a clubhouse. The awareness of that, but sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Pitch 20 of this first inning for Lamet. And a fly ball headed the other way to left field that has Pirela moving over and under as he puts it away to end the inning. 2-run shot for Andrew Toles gets the Dodgers out to a 2-0 lead.
Your friend orders a Friday sirloin.
Dodgers, they grab 2 runs in the top of the first inning. The Padres coming up here in the bottom of the first inning, and we check out the starting 9 today for Andy Green. Jose Pirela's at the top spot. He is in left field after playing second base yesterday. Fernando Tatis at short with Eric Hosmer at first base for the second straight day. Hunter Renfroe in the cleanup spot and right with Austin Hedges doing the catching. Christian Villanueva's at third base batting 6th with Alan Craig the DH. Carlos Suaje at second base bats 8th. And Travis Jankowski in center field rounds out the starting 9. And as we mentioned, Wilmer Font on the mound today for LA.
Hyun-Jin Ryu was scratched earlier in the day with an illness, and now Wilmer Font, Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year last year, led the league in strikeouts, but also ERA, WHIP. And he got a call up for the Dodgers in September, the first time he's been in the big league since 2013.
We saw Pirela yesterday at second base, showing his versatility. He can play in the infield and the outfield, and that may be one of the keys to him getting on the opening day roster.
I think Andy Green looks at him as if he can handle second base and look comfortable there. That's going to be an added edge to possibly platoon in certain situations. But you got to have his bat, because Andy Green understands he probably had the most consistent at bats and the approach throughout the whole year last year when Pirela got the time.
Ended up hitting .288 last year, 10 homers, 40 runs driven in 83 games for the Padres, and primarily in left field for San Diego. But the outfield was much less crowded last year than it is this year.
Now Eric Hosmer coming and signing pushes Will Myers to the outfield. You're going to have to battle for at-bats, and competition breeds a little bit better production. So these guys are going to have to step up and try to get that playing time.
Will Myers, who had started the last 2 days in right field, has the beginning of this game off.
Now, what I love about Pirela is the consistency, but also the energy that he brought. Plays the game hard. Yes, you're not talking about him as being a plus defender, but offensively he can do a lot of damage for you. Consistent at bats, but also the aggressive approach.
I felt like his defense progressed as the year went on.
I agree, and that's something that I think he took a lot of pride.
Swing and a miss, down on strikes is Jose Pirela for the first out here at the bottom of the first inning. Let's check out the Dodgers defensively today. Guy who hit the home run in the top of the first is in left field, Andrew Toles, with Jock Peterson in center, Henry Ramos in right, Max Muncy at third with Chris Taylor at shortstop. It is Tim LaCastro at second base, Edwin Rios at first, and Will Smith doing the catching for Wilmer Font. 1 out, and there is Fernando Tatis Jr. getting the start today at shortstop.
First broadcast, he hit that home run to right field, 2 strikes on him, but you saw the power element of this young man's swing.
We've seen primarily Freddie Galvis at shortstop, as we will during the regular season. Fernando Tatis Jr. and, of course, Javi Guerra has really been the other guy that we've seen in spring training games so far.
Yeah, showed very well yesterday. Both the shortstops played very well. I think for Tatis Jr. really is just settling in and feeling comfortable at this level. Sometimes it can speed up for you. He has a presence about him that I think a lot of people love. But obviously, he has youth on his side.
19 years of age. Two balls, 2 strikes to Tatis, with Eric Hosmer waiting on deck.
Well, Fontes showed him a couple fastballs up in the zone. Also that breaking ball. See if he goes back to that.
Swing and a miss, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Font. Struck out Perella. Now he gets Tatis 2 down.
Well, really feeling comfortable at the top of the strike zone. Remember, Font led the Pacific Coast League in strikeouts. You know he has those put-away pitches. Good fastball, curveball combination.
Eric Hosmer making his Padres debut yesterday, and an RBI single as part of his day. And getting settled in, playing here on a regular basis during the spring. .318, 25 home runs and 94 runs batted in his final season with the Kansas City Royals, a season in which he played every game. That one fooled him. Changed up on him.
That's the first changeup of the day, and he had very good arm action on that.
This point of the spring, pitcher's advantage, you think?
Definitely. You're just trying to get your timing and feeling comfortable, trying to translate that batting practice into the game. And that takes time. Obviously, everything has to work together. Manager Dave Roberts has his eyes on this young right-hander. But I really think the pitchers come in, especially the younger pitchers, they have something to prove. So they're basically locked in. They're trying to get in that game mode. Where an Eric Hosmer understands, man, it's a slow progress, and I want to get my base of bats, want to work on something. And also in a new organization, that element comes into play.
Takes a 2-2 in the dirt, and it's a full count now.
Yeah, just things to evaluate, because you saw the good changeup that Eric swung at earlier in the at bat. Then he takes that changeup there. Some of those things that you really want to work on, try to see the ball as quickly as you can out of the hands of the pitchers.
That's with 2 down, bases empty, and Hunter Renfroe waiting on deck. Talking with Hosmer yesterday, who's saying that he remembered a similar situation with the Kansas City Royals when he was with them coming up and watching how that team was formulated before winning their championship. And he saw a lot of similarities with what the Padres are doing right now.
Yeah, I think the similarities really come from that bond that you create in the minor leagues, and you can start coming up together. And he likes that fact.
Takes strike 3. Newitt takes with him. Strikeout number 3 for Wilmer Font. He ends up striking out the side in order. 2-0 Dodgers through 1.
Now contour.
Dodgers lead the Padres 2-0, top of the second. And baseball fans, single game tickets for the 2018 Padres season are now on sale. Grab your tickets early and save up to 20% off at Padres.com.
It's on to the second inning as the Dodgers get a 2-run home run from Andrew Toles in the first inning. And Nelson Lamet, who had to work hard in that first inning, does get through the first and back out there for the second. Tim LeCastro, second baseman for LA, leading it off. Castro, Ramos, and Smith scheduled to bat in the second inning. Time in AA and AAA last year for LeCastro.
Early in this game, we have seen Dinelson Lamet elevate that fastball. At times, it's been probably in the mid-range. That one right there, elevated at the top of the strike zone. Very difficult to get on top of.
And gone. They check. Yes, he did. One around and strikes out. Second strikeout for Lamet. One down here in the second inning.
Now, perfect start. You can see the awkward swing on the slider. A lot of these hitters will start cheating on that fastball because you just don't feel like you have to get on top of that. Then it exposes them to the slider.
A good start to the second inning here for Lamet. One down brings up Henry Ramos, right fielder. First batter that Lamet faced to begin things was a double by Chris Taylor. Followed up by the 2-run home run by Toles. Fly ball down the left field line. Pirela headed over towards the line, and he makes the good running catch. That's a play that last year this time Pirela really had trouble with. Those balls down the left field line, getting good breaks and getting over there, and able to make the grab this time on the run.
Well, Don, you said it. He did improve defensively, and we've seen him make those plays that you're supposed to make. But it's really comfort in reps out there in left field.
The wind is not easy here either. Lots of breeze.
There's a lot of factors here. Obviously, the sun poses problems. You see the glasses on top of his hat. So it probably isn't squared up right on him. But if it is, he'll probably throw those on. But he looked very comfortable out there at that ball.
Wind's been hard blowing out of here in the last week or so.
Yeah, those are the things you have to do as an outfielder. It'll shift on you. You take a look and peek up. Look at those flags where they're blowing. Maybe even adjust your depth out in the outfield. These are huge outfields in Arizona. Well, you can see just the space. A lot of territory to cover. Which really is good because there's some big fields in the NL West, which you've got to get comfortable with.
In the air to right field, struck pretty well again. Renfroe back at the wall, and that ball is going to be off the wall. Kicks by Renfroe. Ricochet is pretty nasty, but Renfroe get it back in with his arm. And it is a double for Will Smith off the wall in right field and right off that bullpen wall for the Padres in deep right.
Well, interesting route. You see the swing, the high fastball. He gets on top of it. And then as we saw, the flags are blowing out. Hunter took his eye off this ball and really didn't see where it was going to ricochet off of that fence.
So a 2-out double for Smith. And it brings up the number 9 man, Edwin Rios. Nearly got out of here to right field then. Fly ball to right. This is struck well to right field. Back goes Renfroe onto the track to make the running catch in front of the 385 marker in right field. Runner left at second for LA. Dodgers have a 2-0 lead after an inning and a half. To Nelson Lamet through the first 2 innings. Now the Padres playing the Dodgers today. They'll be on the road tomorrow against Texas. We're back with you on Friday when the Kansas City Royals will be here at Peoria Stadium to take on the Padres right here on Fox Sports San Diego at noon on Friday. Andy Green will have the Padres ready to take on the Royals. Hunter Renfroe going to lead it off here for Andy Green to begin things in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Renfroe, Hedges, and Villanueva. Wilmer Font, who had a very impressive first inning, back out on the mound. He struck out the side in order, as he was able to get Perella, Tatis, and Hosmer.
Yeah, and he showed very well. The fastball was up in the strike zone at times, but also the good breaking ball. We saw a couple changeups to lefties.
And Renfroe getting a start in right field. He's seen time in left in the games that Will Myers has started in right field. Chopped down the third base line, but a foul ball. It appears in the return to the outfield for Will Myers, he feels more comfortable in right field than perhaps in left, heading back out to the outfield again.
Yeah, it's really the comfort level that he has to, because unselfishly he's going to the outfield again to accommodate Eric Hosmer at his position, but athletically he's going to be able to do it. That starts the whole dynamic of where Hunter Renfroe fits in. He's normally a right fielder, shifting over to left.
On the ground up the middle, Taylor ranges, slides to grab it, then his throw is dug out at first base very nicely by Rios. Good play on both ends as it turned out to retire Hunter Renfroe. Nice rangy play by Taylor going to the outfield grass to get that.
This is his natural position, but obviously they have Seager, so he's going to have to be that backup shortstop. Athletically, very nice play and a good pick on the back end. Played a lot of his time in center field last year. We touched on Jock Peterson's problems. I think they were just looking for that productive at bat. But very versatile is Taylor.
1 out, 4 in a row. Retired by Font, and a little help from his friends there as Austin Hedges stands in for the first time today. 2 home runs during the spring, including 1 yesterday.
Yeah, and he looked very comfortable yesterday. He's made some adjustments to his swing and early returns.
18 home runs a year ago for Hedges. Three-run shot yesterday for Hedges. Mentioned the adjustments he's been making and paying dividends here so far.
Has a lot to do with his direction, but also he has controlled his head movement. Last year that was falling with his stride and his front foot. In better hitting position, you can see really feels good about that power swing.
And I guess anytime you make any changes, it's great to see results early.
Very important, but also more important is getting into the cage and getting your work done. Andy Green understands this is a work in progress. He's seen some early returns, but really the comfort level of how you continue to slow everything down. Look at some of those takes that he has. The first pitch take, a breaking ball, looks like he saw it out of the hands very early. Matt Stairs would like to see him just control his emotions, but also control his head movement, which will enable him to stay off those borderline pitches.
Sounds like Matt Stairs in his new capacity here with the Padres watch a lot of video during the offseason and had a plan for virtually every guy coming in.
Yeah, I think this whole hitting staff is really on the same page, and that's interesting because Matt Stairs being a new guy, Philadelphia Phillies hitting coach last year, but his message has been sent, and a lot of people are having very good sounds off their bats.
This is driven to deep left field. Back goes Tolles at the wall, and that ball is gone. A long home run to left field. Austin Hedges homering again today, his 3rd of the spring. And the Padres cut the Dodgers lead in half. It's now 2-1 LA.
Man, he's got to feel comfortable at the plate now. You're seeing the ball very well. He's hit all 3 home runs at different parts of the ballpark. Watch the replay. That foot gets down early, and you can see he has the balance to his swing. Watch how he controls his head, reaches with that front side, and then everything is in complete balance. And the sound off the bat really is the indication of how good he feels.
Now Font had retired the first 4 Padres in a row, but a home run by Austin Hedges as the Padres on the board. Christian Villanueva getting his first plate appearance of the day and takes that breaking ball for a strike.
I just got to love what Austin Hedges has done because he has really put in the work, not only from the catching position, because that can't stop. That's priority number 1. But offensively.
Little pop-up foul ground. Rios going as far as he can, but doesn't have a play.
I think offensively, Austin Hedges knows that he has to continue to maintain, but he would like to get an approach that he feels 100% confident about. What this is doing early in this camp really signifies that I have to stay the course. And that is something that you challenge yourself when you're trying to search for a different approach.
Thought about it, but he'll take it for ball 3, full count.
I'll tell you what, Christian Villanueva put a stamp on the swing the other day. 2 days ago, at back-to-back home runs. Hunter Renfroe went straight center, and then Villanueva went way back and left.
He burst onto the scene last year, the tail end of the season, playing at third base, showing some very good power.
You heard Andy Green really speak very highly of Villanueva and his at-bats, how they continued to get better and better, but also the power element to his swing.
High fly ball down the left field line, headed for foul ground over his toes, but he won't have a play. Villanueva batting now. Alan Craig waiting on deck here for the Padres. Villanueva, 26 years old, from Mexico. And a swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 4 for Wilmer Font. Second out of the second inning. So 2-way here in the second. A run in, and it brings up Alan Craig. And one thing we've noticed about Craig, he's been very selective and patient at the plate. A lot of walks here in the early going of spring training.
Stays in within the strike zone. I think he gives you that professional at bat. Comes down to health for Alan Craig. Also that right-handed backup role.
Spending the last 2 seasons at AAA. He's not played in a major league game since 2015 with the Red Sox. Tardy on the fastball, and it evens a count of 1-1. Craig DHing today. We've seen him play a little bit at first base. Of course, today, though, Eric Hosmer getting the start at first, and Craig still in the lineup. And a grounder to short, sharply hit, picked on the backhand by Taylor. Throw is good, and the inning is over. But Austin Hedges has his 3rd home run of spring training. A 3-run shot yesterday. Today, a solo shot. It's the Padres on the board. We played 2. Dodgers have a 2-1 lead.
2-1 Dodgers, top of the third, and it's time to plan your trip to spring training in Peoria now to see your 2018 Padres. This year celebrates the team's 25th year in Peoria, Arizona. Grab tickets today at padres.com/springtraining.
The Padres and Dodgers matching up here today, as they will, of course, 19 times during the regular season. Nelson Lamet done after 2 innings today, allowing 2 runs, and Rowan Wick now takes over for San Diego.
It's a young right-hander in rookie ball, but also jumped 3 different levels. Ended up in Double-A. Nice ERA. Only 42 in the 3rd innings. Fastball curveball combination.
Chris Taylor leading it off. Led it off with a double in the 1st inning. And would come around to score on the 2-run home run by Andrew Tolles. So Dinelson Lamet's hit a 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. A 2-run home run by Tolles. This is out to left, and that ball's going to one-hop the wall. Perella plays the carom. To second base goes Taylor. The throw not going to be in time. And Chris Taylor has his 2nd double of the day.
Well, what's impressive is the first double went to right field. You can see him just laying on this fastball. The aggressive approach, but also has not missed a beat from last year to this year.
So Taylor at second base to start the 3rd inning, and it brings up Jock Peterson. Peterson from Palo Alto, California, 25 years old. All-star outfielder, his 5th major league season. His first full big league season, 2015. But again, last year at one point being sent down to AAA.
Yeah, really has a good handle of how to position himself and play center field.
Originally 11th round pick back in 2010. He 26 home runs back in 2015 for the Dodgers. Batting with Taylor at second, nobody out here in the Dodgers' 3rd inning. Chopped down the first baseline. Hosmer's got it. He'll take it to the bag, but a productive out as Chris Taylor takes 3rd, 1 away. Well, Andrew Tolles coming up. He homered his last time up, a 2-run shot to put the Dodgers on top, 2-0. That was off to Nelson Lamet back in the 1st inning. He is back. He is healthy after the torn ACL. That's with a runner at 3rd, and he'll take a pitch up top for ball 1. One out in the inning, the infield in all the way around.
Yeah, Andy Green typically wouldn't probably implement the infield in this early in a ball game.
Practice
really does come into that because you want to get these guys in the awareness of the game situation and being able to possibly nab that runner at the plate. Not necessarily worried about the results of the game and how it's scored, more so than just being in different situations.
That's the thing in spring training, emulating situations, trying to have things happen, kind of creating it even if it's not there, just to work on it.
Yeah, even with a starting pitcher, some of these veteran guys will feel more comfortable putting guys on base to work out of the stretch. Because if you're dominating, you're consistently into that wind-up mode, it's not going to help you.
To right field, Renfroe coming in, and he'll make the catch. Tagging at 3rd is Taylor. The throw to the plate is going to be not in time. And Chris Taylor scores on the sac fly by Andrew Tolles. Tolles has driven in all 3 Dodgers runs, and LA jumps on top here 3-1.
Well, you saw Hunter Renfroe really do a nice job playing behind this. You can see the arm, but it just pulled hedges up that first base line.
Two down, bases empty, a run in for LA, and it brings up Yasmani Grandal. Struck out swinging in the first inning, 0 for 1. This game starting earlier. Padres and Andy Green really feeling like they didn't have enough time to work on stuff that they normally would. And those, usually the first 2 weeks of spring training spent working on drills, different plays that you're going to run during the course of the season.
Yeah, typically Andy and the staff will try to present one scenario in the mornings. Like rundowns will be one day, and then you're starting to work first and third defense, bunt plays. It really comes down to it where you're simplifying as much as possible, doing it during a day, and typically on home games because they have a lot more time in the morning rather than traveling to a different site. But then you get those in-game scenarios and you want to see how the players react. How are they going to work their knowledge of the game of baseball? And sometimes you'll position them certain ways. You know, Andy Green is very important, very into where it's positioning of the infielders with the shifts and so many things. But this scenario is really how you handle those scenarios, how you cutoffs and relays when it comes down to it. But that's what spring training is all about.
We saw a lot of those things come out during the regular season the last 2 years under Andy Green, too. He doesn't like to just leave it in the spring. A lot of times you'll see it during the course of the year. If it's something he needs to do, is there a strike 3 to Grandal? First strikeout for Wick. Now the run for the Dodgers should lead it 3-1.
As we head to the bottom of the third inning in Peoria, I'm joined by Dinelson Lamet and our ever-trusty interpreter, David Longley. David, thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. Dinelson, other than the first inning or a couple of batters that you faced, how did you feel about getting back out there into some live competition and getting that first spring training outing under your belt?
Bueno, aparte de los primeros bateadores, ¿cómo te sentiste en la primera salida del spring training?
Bueno, yo sumamente me sentí bien, un poco divariado porque ya tenía mucho tiempo que no veía bateadores, pero ya en el segundo inning me fui sintiendo más cómodo.
Yeah, it felt a little off. I think it was first time facing hitters in a really long time, but once I got into that second inning, felt pretty comfortable.
Dinelson, you had such a great rookie season. You really opened up the eyes of so many people. Sometimes guys get a little complacent after they have such a great start, but it seemed to be the opposite for you. You worked just as hard this offseason, maybe harder than ever. Have you always had that work ethic, or were you more motivated after the success that you had last year?
Bueno, después del primer año, o sea, tú tenías una buena temporada. Dice que a veces la gente se pone insatisfecha, pero parecía que contigo tú te pusiste a trabajar más todavía. Entonces, ¿cuál fue el motivo? ¿Cómo te motivaste? ¿Y cómo va el trabajo? ¿Y qué tal la temporada baja? ¿Y qué te motivaba?
Bueno, lo que yo pienso es que si yo en base a trabajo logré lo que yo pude, entonces si yo le subo más trabajo, pienso que yo puedo lograr algo mucho mejor. Por eso siempre me mantengo trabajando fuerte para yo dar lo mejor de mí.
Yeah, I think if I had as much success as I did with the work that I had put in, I think the only thing to do after that is work even harder. And I know if I do that, then hopefully I can give it my best and have even better results.
There's been a lot of talk about whether or not you need a third pitch. Your fastball and slider are so effective. If so, do you prefer the changeup or the curveball, or are you comfortable fastball slider?
Bueno, que ha habido mucha discusión o debate, mejor dicho, en cuanto a tu tercer picheo. Si tú prefieres el cambio o la curva, ¿cómo te sientes con eso?
Bueno, yo pienso que una combinación de los dos sería algo perfecto. Tanto la curva me puede ayudar para un bateador derecho, para tirarse por strike, como un cambio, que es algo como quien dice, yo lo que estoy buscando conseguir un picheo que sea lento, por debajo del slide y de la recta.
I think a combination of the two would be perfect. I think against righties with the curveball or the changeup, I think what we're ultimately looking for is a slower third pitch that will be something off of that slider and fastball.
As dominant as the fastball and slider are, do you have to force yourself to use that other pitch sometimes?
Bueno, con dos picheos tan dominantes en la recta y slider, sí tiene que forzar o convencerte a usar ese tercer picheo a veces.
Bueno, siempre es bueno ponerle enfatización porque así el bateador ya se va a sentir menos incómodo, porque si dice no, nada más recta y slide es uno de los dos, pero si dice no, él tiene un cambio, no lo tira frecuente, pero en cualquier momento lo puede lanzar y es algo que uno puede sacarlo de concentración y de timing.
Yeah, I think you have to put some emphasis on it. I think the biggest point is just it makes hitters less comfortable instead of saying, yeah, he just has a fastball and a slider. Even if they say, yeah, he has a changeup, even if I'm throwing infrequently, it still gets them off of those two pitches.
David, thanks for your help. Denelson, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Nice job on the first day out. Denelson Lamet getting it done, guys, and continuing to work on that changeup and the curveball, both to try to have that slower pitch to complement that nasty fastball slider he has. Guys, back over to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Something else to think about, I guess, for the hitter.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to that, the change of pace, adding and subtracting, and how you do that really comes into play of how you're going to make that hitter uncomfortable. And we're really talking about the main guys, so the guys that are going to do that damage. You want to get them off pitches that are similar in velocity. I think that's the easier adjustment that guys make at this level. But when it comes down to it, when he has his slider on, he can rack up strikeouts, and you're going to get uncomfortable swings and misses, as you can see. But I really think that changeup and maybe even the possible curveball is going to come into play.
Jankowski working a one-out walk here against Henry Owens. A one-out walk, and in the midst here, the bottom of the third inning, with the Dodgers on top 3-1, as the Padres here continue their Cactus League schedule. Don Orsillo along with Mark Sweeney and Mark Denelson Lamet. Getting that first outing out of the way is certainly important, but also working on something else too.
Yeah, I think the fastball today, the command was a little inconsistent at times, but when he pitched at the top of the strike zone, it really sets up that slider. So he can get those strikeouts. Today, looked like he missed location a little bit at times, but that's going to happen early in spring.
Lamet going the first two innings. We saw Rowan Wick come into the game and he allowed an additional run. Keeping an eye on Travis Jankowski at first base. Always a threat to run, especially now that he is healthy after the fractured foot a year ago that hampered his season. But he is back and healthy and running well.
From the Padres fans' perspective, I think this team is going to have the ability to run and steal some bases at certain times. They're going to have to be smarter base runners, but the Travis Jankowski's, if he does make the roster, is going to impact that level to be able to try to steal some runs. I think that's going to be pretty important for the Padres.
Almost threw that away. Coming off was Rios to reel that in.
Yeah, there's certain teams, you remember the Angels back in the day when Mike Scioscia had to kind of force the issue, have them be very aggressive, but they were smart base runners. I think that's what the Padres are going to ask, and I'm sure Andy Green's going to ask these guys to try to impact the game, maybe even early in the game, to try to steal some runs early.
Seems the key is to have the roster that is able to do that. It does appear the Padres have that roster.
They do.
Taking off his Jankowski throw is going to be late, and Travis able to steal second base.
With that injury last year, I think Jankowski has to prove it to himself, even how that speed is going to continue to maintain that weapon. And you can see he has that forward lean and a nice diving slide into second base. He has the ability to impact the game with the stolen bases.
So into scoring position here with one down in the inning. Jose Perella. This one will get away, and Jankowski heads to third. Luckily, a wild pitch here, so Jankowski reaching on a walk, stealing second, and now to third base on the wild pitch. And Owens has been a little wild here, almost threw one away at first base, and now sends this one right down into the dirt.
Yeah, in his Boston career, he had the command issues, but again, that speed at second base, you don't know if the thought process is on the base runner.
Owens pretty big, 6'6", 205 pounds, still only 25 years of age, from Huntington Beach, California. And now in a Dodgers uniform. Fouled off to the right, and that'll get back and out of play. This is the 7th professional season for Owens, joining the Dodgers organization. Framed there by Smith, but called the ball, full count.
Like from Owens' point of view, I'm sure Huntington Beach, he was probably aware of what Clayton Kershaw did, the impact of a left-hander coming into the Dodgers organization. I'm sure that has to be very encouraging, coming into a locker room and having the ability to talk to a Clayton Kershaw, who I believe is the best pitcher in the game.
On the ground left side, it is Taylor, the shortstop. Off balance throw, and it'll be late, and a run will score. Jankowski scoring from third base on the infield hit for Pirela. Too much speed. And he'll pick up an RBI. It's now 3-2 Dodgers.
Well, Jose Pirela, the energy that you put in, you see this ground ball, it's perfectly placed in the hole. Tough play by Taylor. You can see just getting a little bit of air under that throw. But watch Pirela, puts his head down immediately. And the hustle and the energy, getting in there and beating that throw.
And he was thinking about beating it out right away, and was able to do so out of the box. Picks up an RBI. Second Padres hit, second Padres run. And here is Fernando Tatis. Busy offseason for the Dodgers left-hander Henry Owens. December, he was selected off waivers by the Diamondbacks from the Red Sox. And about 2 weeks later, selected off waivers from the Dodgers from the Diamondbacks.
Wow.
So never technically in a Diamondbacks uniform. Kind of a paper move for a couple of weeks.
Well, it's got to be exciting for him. Obviously, being on the West Coast has to be very encouraging. Just another opportunity. It's that newness that really comes into play. The psyche of a player and the comfort level.
Three runs, 4 hits, no errors. A man left for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left for the Padres right now with 1 out, and Pirela at first base. That's strike 2, 2-2. The gap out in left center field for Tatis, with Jock Peterson over towards right center. Full count now.
I've seen a heavy dose of changeups along with fastballs to Tatis. Gets himself into a 3-2 count. Still sitting on a fastball here, but you can react to a breaking ball. Ball 4, and another walk allowed here by Owens.
second walk of the inning. Jankowski had walked earlier. Now Tatis. Nice patient at bat there for Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, that's some of the things that you really are looking forward to. Obviously, the ability comes off the page, both defensively and offensively, but that's a nice patient at bat.
McConaughey, the pitching coach, coming out to talk here to Henry Owens. Owens taking over for Wilmer Font, who went the first 2 innings today for LA. Gave up just the one hit. It was the solo shot by Austin Hedges in the second. Didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 4. Font looked pretty good.
He did. He looked very comfortable, pitched very well with the fastball at the top of the zone. Had the good curveball to go along with it.
There is action in the Dodgers pen here as Owens struggles a little bit in the 3rd inning. Justin DeFreitas.
I know Mark Grant wouldn't like me to say at bat. It was a plate appearance. So I correct myself.
Don't worry about what Mark Grant wants. Don't let that bother you.
It really doesn't, but I just wanted to say it because I know that stuff burns him a little bit.
Yep, bugs him. Right now it's bugging him as snow and Alpine, I think. Hosmer's 0 for 1 today. Struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Got an RBI single yesterday in his Padres debut. Part of a victory for the Padres against the Seattle Mariners.
You know, watching Eric Hosmer throughout his career, he really does a nice job staying on left-handers because he has the ability to go to left center. And we always evaluate left on left. I don't understand it because right on right really isn't such a big deal. But when you have left-handers that have the ability to stay in and hang into those tough left-handers, to throw those sliders away, really comes into play. And I think it has a lot to do with your approach, shifting the field a little bit towards left center. They throw that breaking ball, sits over the middle, and you can pull that.
Chopped at first and going to second is Rios. They get the runner there. Back to first for 2. Hosmer grounds into the inning-ending double play. Padres do get a run. Dodgers on top 3-2.
At the top of the 4th, where the Dodgers lead the Padres 3-2. Padre members receive benefits that provide special access and deals around Petco Park. Beyond saving up to 30% off tickets, customizable ticket packages, and year-round private events, members receive special perks at all Padre games. Learn more about Padres membership at padres.com/compadres.
Yeah, Padres trailing 3-2 as we play along here to the 4th inning. And the new pitcher in, Craig Stammen, signing a new deal this offseason and back with the Padres again.
Yeah, and I love this sign too. It's the stability of a a veteran presence. Really goes along with Brad Hand and I think of the other veteran guys in the bullpen. But a needed sign. You wondered if he was going to do that because he had a fabulous year last year.
33-year-old. Here's a career high 60 games for the Padres last year. His previous high had been 59 in 2012 when he was with the Washington Nationals. You take a look at those numbers last year.
Yeah, and those numbers would have been much better. He struggled early in April, had a hiccup, and then after that really came into big situations, can get the ground ball at any time, and knows how to pitch and how to attack the strike zone.
After the All-Star break, he posted a 1.10 earned run average. He gave up just 4 earned runs in 32 2/3 innings. The lowest ERA among all National League relievers in the second half of the year. Diving at second base, Aswahe gets up and he throws out Muncy at first base. Nice play by Aswahe at second base. He's fired up.
Yeah, he should be, because you talked about Perella improving defensively. I thought Carlos Aswahe did the exact same at second base. Known offensively at second base, but you could see him going to his right. Very good athletic play.
And one down here in the 4th inning. It brings up Tim LaCastro. Strikeout victim his first time up. Now Stammen, prior to last year, 2016, spent the entire season in the minor leagues. So last year really a chance for him to perform again at the major league level, and he made good.
Yeah, he really had to get himself back. I thought he made an impact in spring training last year. Did so well that he made the club. And I think Andy Green understands there's a trust factor involved, and he knows what he's getting from Craig.
Popped up mile high into shallow left center field. Jankowski coming from center. Perella left, and it'll be Perella with Jankowski alongside, who makes the grab out there for the second out here of the 4th inning. Yeah, you could tell last year as the year went on that Andy Green's confidence in Craig Stammen was growing as the year went on, and then he went from some situations where he was coming in a mop-up type role to all of a sudden being in some very high leverage situations by year's end.
Yeah, and Andy knows that Craig Stammen earned that opportunity to get those innings in the high leverage situations. Remember a couple times he came in with the bases loaded to get out of those big jams.
And his first major league save as part of last year too, and glad to have him back in a Padres uniform.
You know, it's interesting. You start thinking about how you comprise a good bullpen, and most of them, and you think about the late Kevin Towers, he was known for that, building his bullpen from the back to that 6th or even 7th inning. Now you start shortening the games with that big bullpen. Darren Balsley understands how important that is. Also, Doug Bachler, the bullpen coach, understands how important that is.
Slowly grounded to Tatis at short, and that'll be in time at first base to end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Craig Stammen. Nice job. 3-2 LA. 3-2, Dodgers have the lead over the Padres. We get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning, and coming up on March the 10th on Fox Sports San Diego, 10 a.m., the celebration of life for the late Dick Enberg. And then at noon, it'll be the Indians and Padres from Peoria, followed by, after the game at 3 p.m., Padres season preview. That'll be immediately following the Padres and the Indians. But looking forward to the celebration of life for Dick Enberg, which will be on March the 10th at Petco Park. Well, we move along here to the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Hunter Renfroe, Austin Hedges, and Christian Villanueva scheduled to bat, and they will do it against the new pitcher, Justin DeFreitas, who's now in the game for L.A.
Well, pretty important at bat for Hunter Renfroe. And why I say that is because it's the evaluation of how he is going to make adjustments against right-handed pitching. Last year dominated against left-handed pitching and at times looked overmatched. But he was thrown a lot on his plate last year, and see if Hunter Renfroe can make some adjustments against these right-handers.
Do you agree a little bit of pressure on Hunter going into spring training this year?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's good pressure. It's also competition, which I think breeds the best of him. He has a lot of ability.
Sharply hit, but to the third baseman, Muncy, little bobble there, and his throw is off the mark and off the front of the Padres dugout, and Renfroe will reach. Muncy could not play cleanly down there at third base, and then the errant throw. But no further advance for Renfroe.
A hard smash off the bat of Hunter Renfroe. This play has to be made, but you can see that ball ate him up a little bit. But to Hunter Renfroe's credit, getting down the line.
So Renfroe aboard at first base to begin the inning, and here is Austin Hedges. Third charge to Max Muncy at third base. That starts this inning. Hedges, his first time up, hit a solo home run to left field back in the 2nd inning. Third home run of the spring for Austin, off to a fast start.
Well, it's easy to start talking about his subtleties of how he has changed things. His hand position, as we touched on before the first at bat, he wants to control his head. And what it does for that is just seeing the pitches better, seeing it out of the hands of the pitcher. And not necessarily it's always evaluated by the swing. It's really evaluate how you take certain pitches out of the hands, and if you slow everything down, then you're going to be able to stay in that strike zone a little bit better. Now that might be some of the things that you're talking about. It might sound very confusing, but really what Austin Hedges has done is he's simplified a lot of things. Trying to slow that head down, but also putting those hands in the position where you know where you're launching from.
Popped up left side of the infield. Chris Taylor out to the outfield grass now, and he's there to make the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. One away. Renfroe still at first base, and that'll bring up Christian Villanueva. First out recorded by DeFreitas since coming into this game for L.A. Villanueva, a strikeout victim in the 2nd as Wilmer Font struck him out, and was one of the 4 strikeouts for the Dodgers starter. To right field, and Ramos out there in right will make the catch shy of the track. Renfroe back to the bag at first. 2 down here in the 4th inning. Villanueva not waiting around, swinging at that first offering from DeFreitas.
We've seen the pull power by Villanueva, but also going the other way there. Nice approach.
Here is Alan Craig with 2 down in the inning. Craig, who grounded out to shortstop in the 2nd inning. Padres have action in their pen so far today, using Dinelson Lamet for 2 innings. Rowan Wick and Craig Stammen. Stammen fresh off a 1-2-3 inning of relief. Jose Castillo warming right now for the Padres. Looks like he'll be coming on next inning.
Yeah, I think when we touched on the base running element, and as you see Castillo warming up in the bullpen, these are scenarios here that you'd like to see Hunter Renfroe take that opportunity. Got 2 outs. The count.
There's a strike, and it's now 1-2.
Because typically managers will give that green light. Yes, you're relying on your coaches. I think Glenn Hoffman's going to shut him down if they don't want him to run. But you want to show that you're thinking along those same lines of the game, and that's what happens in spring training. You want to make those mistakes, if they are mistakes, down here rather than during the season.
Now, the lead at first has been pretty short for Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah, and that's something that we said. A lot was put on his plate last year. Sometimes the speed of the game speeds up too much at times. Now his second year. He has the ability. We saw him get down the line. He has the speed. But it's that opportunity and thinking about the game, trying to steal a run here in this situation.
I've seen some very patient at-bats here during spring training for Alan Craig.
Well, talking to Matt Stairs, the hitting coach, he's been very pleased at the amount of pitches that they're seeing. That's information, and also it's the approach, building a plan at the plate.
Listen to Matt Stairs talking a lot about throwing at-bats away, how important it is not to. That is strike 3, and Craig Newitt takes with him the first strikeout for DeFreitas as the Padres leave a runner on and trail 3-2 to LA through 4.
Right now as we head to the top of the 5th inning. I'm joined by Craig Stammen, who just finished up a nice clean inning. Craig, congratulations. You barely even got your work in out there today.
I tell you what, the first spring training outing, you never know what's going to happen, so I'm happy that I'm out of it.
The quicker the better, right?
Yes, quicker the better. It's good in spring training.
Craig, this time last year, a completely different situation for you coming into spring training. You were trying to come back from the flexor tendon issues that you'd had and weren't sure you're going to be making a club, and here you are, one of the locks in the bullpen right now. Talk a little bit about the feeling coming into spring training for yourself this year.
Yeah, if I could have set out a plan last year, you know, to get to this point last year, I think it worked out perfectly. But about this time last year, I had 3 or 4 innings already pitched, so it's good to get that first inning under the belt and get ready to improve in 2018.
It was a really exciting year for you last year. I mean, a lot of ups and downs. You started off with some struggles. You worked through some mechanical changes for yourself and then posted a 2.24 after the month of April last year. How exciting was it for you to look back at the end of the season and say, you know what, I really accomplished a lot of things for myself and for this ball club?
Yeah, I mean, it was a struggle at the beginning, but sometimes you have to dig deep, and that's what's great about baseball is you learn a lot of life lessons from the struggles and the ups and downs throughout the season. So just tried to manage those ups and downs, not ride the roller coaster, and we ended up with a decent end of 2017 season. Now we're ready to go for a playoff run here in 2018.
Greg, congratulations on the 2-year contract. And what was the main motivation for you to return to this ball club? Obviously, you like what you see going on here.
Yeah, I tell you, it's really comforting to have a great manager, a great pitching coach, great coaching staff in general, and then have great teammates along with you. So I think it was last year was a learning experience for everybody, and I was happy to be a part of that, and hopefully we can continue that learning experience into some playoff experience.
You mentioned the playoffs. You have some playoff experience. You were there twice with the Washington Nationals. You see this ball club developing. Your thoughts on where they are in terms of turning the corner and making championship baseball a reality here in San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, this team reminded me a lot of when I was first coming up with the Washington Nationals, and nobody thought we were any good, and then all of a sudden signed a few guys, and a couple young guys came up and did their thing, and all of a sudden we were in the playoffs and winning 98 games. So we're not too far off, especially signing guys like Hosmer and stuff like that, and the young guys coming up. You've seen all the talent on the field. We've got a shot, and that's what's great about this season and this part of spring training is that, everybody's at the same level right now, and we can make it.
We got to ask you about your golf game. We know you golf all the time. You're a scratch golfer, but truth be told, your wife actually has bragging rights on you in one area, right? She got the first hole-in-one, and you're still trying to get one?
She's up 1-0 on me. I came close the other day. I hit the pin on one bounce, but I just can't get one to go down. But we have fun playing golf together. It's a great way for us to share in our relationship together, and it's been good for our marriage.
Well, especially if she's got some bragging rights on you, right?
Exactly. It's good. It's always good to let your wife win sometimes.
Craig, congratulations on the nice first outing. Look forward to seeing you out there again.
All right, thanks a lot.
Craig Stammen, guys. He's a great golfer, but, his wife still has a little bit of the upper hand on the hole-in-ones as far as that's concerned, but he's done a great job today, and look forward to seeing him being one of the cornerstones of this bullpen going out the rest of the season. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Great to have Craig Stammen back. Great for the clubhouse, and great to be around.
Yeah, really perfect sign when you think about the continuity of what you're trying to create. And that's what they're doing. But I love the atmosphere of what he's trying to say that's happening around the locker room, their vision of what they do. Obviously, all the experts are talking about this team being in lower in the division. They don't believe in that, and I love that thought process.
And Taylor will foul that off. It's all about changing the culture, and that's something that we've heard a lot from Andy Green.
Yeah,
the last 2 seasons that he has managed.
Changing the culture, but also having more competition within this. You're seeing this in spring training now, and that's the talk. There's surplus coming, but there are also some youth that are pushing some of these veterans. But also there is also the guys that Chase Headley, Craig Stammen. Now you have Eric Hosmer. Those are guys that you're going to have to lean on, and Freddie Galvis comes to mind as well.
Swing and a miss. Taylor chases that pitch and strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Jose Castillo, the new Padres pitcher, who had kind of a rude welcoming to this game with Will Smith taking him out of the yard on the first pitch that he threw. But since then, back-to-back strikeouts.
Yeah, that's really showing. This young left-hander is opening a lot of people's eyes. I think the organization knew what they had, but now you're seeing at the big league level, fastball slider combination. But he has mid-90s fastball, even upper 90s at times.
Came over from Tampa Bay in a 3-team, 11-player trade with Washington in December of 2014 from Valencia, Venezuela, and is only 22.
Well, that's what you're hearing, too. Some of the youth and guys that are trying to jump into that big league situation. You're not talking about 25, 26. You're thinking about 20, 21, 22. Maybe Margot comes to mind, only 22 years old. These opportunities and these guys jumping into the big leagues at an early age.
Well, Tatista's not far away, and he's sitting there at 19 right now. Two-way, bases empty for Jock Peterson, who has lined out to short and grounded out to first base. Jose Castillo last year splitting time between Lake Elsinore and San Antonio. Most of the year spent in Lake Elsinore, 39 appearances there with a 2.87 earned run average. When he has missed since coming into the game, it's primarily been up.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because he has the ability, because of that velocity, to pitch at the top of the strike zone, setting up that slider, the secondary pitch.
Peterson tardy on that cut. He strikes out, and Castillo ends up striking out the side. But a home run by Will Smith as the Dodgers on top 4-2.
I first met James in 5th.
Dodgers lead the Padres 4-2, and this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
I'm going to say something that's going to offend at least one other person who I work with, but I think you do the copyright better than anybody else on this broadcast.
Wow.
I just want to let you know.
So you're not going to name any names?
I don't want to name any names, Mark Grant, but, you know, it's a situation where I feel like he does it quickly. You can barely understand what the rules are. You don't know if you can use the video for your own use. You don't know what to do because it's so quick.
Don't you feel like he's in front of the mirror right now?
Oh, he's fired up right now, throwing stuff around his house. But it's not something I'm saying behind his back.
No.
And I don't want to name names. I mean,
you're putting it out there.
Mark Grant. I think he does a better job of reading the copyright. You know what? He doesn't read it either. He's right off the top of your head. But there's something about your inflection, the way you explain it, that makes it so easy to understand that you can't do anything with the video without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres, where with him, I'm not really sure what the rules are.
I think all of us like to get in each other's heads, and it's fun.
Oh, and I'm in. I'm in the kitchen. I'm swinging pots and pans around. I know I'm in.
I love that.
He is fired up right now.
I think Mud, we can get him in the mirror situation. He's probably going over it now.
Put the sandwich down. Step away from the food. Suarez leading it off here in the fifth, and he will strike out. Charqua, the new pitcher into the game, JT Charqua.
Well, JT Charqua has a very nice breaking ball. Looks like a slider out of the hands, and you can see him buckling the left-handed Suarez.
Here is Travis Jankowski for the second time today. Travis a walk in the third inning would steal a base, got the third on a wild pitch, and then scored on an infield hit. Came around with the Padres' second run. They trail 4-2 as they bat here in their half of the fifth inning. former font started the game today for the Dodgers. Gave up a run on 2 hits. Henry Owens went an inning, giving up a run. Justin DeFreitas last inning a shutout inning, and now JT Chargois. Fly ball headed out towards left field, and Andrew Tolles out there in left makes the catch for out number 2. Two down for Jose Perella. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Reached on an infield hit in the third. Picked up an RBI. Started at second base yesterday. Today in left field. Averaging kind of a pitcher an inning here in spring training at this stage, and Padres do have left-handed action in the pen right now as Perella bats with 2 down in the 5th inning.
Very impressive last half of the inning by Castilla after giving up that leadoff home run, sitting down the next 3 with strikeouts.
Very impressive.
Yeah, that power left-handed arm. You always want to see that, but it looked like a strike thrower.
And it's who he struck out too. Taylor and Peterson back to back.
Yeah, they've had very good at bats all day long.
A little late on that cut. Fouls it off down the right field line out of play. Two down here in the last of the 5th inning, with the Dodgers on top of the Padres 4-2. Too far away, and it's 3-1 now to Perella. If the inning does continue, Fernando Tatis Jr. waits on deck here for San Diego. Fouled off, came back up, but I'm not sure if it got him in the helmet or where it got him.
Yeah, it looked like it came up and hit him in the helmet. Probably picked up speed off the plate. You see the aggressive swing, 3-1 pitch. Comes up and hits him right on the side of the helmet.
In there for strike 3. Perella takes it as Chargois ends up with 2 strikeouts in the inning. Dodgers have a 4-2 lead at the end of 5. Padres. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. It's great to have with us the new first base coach for the San Diego Padres. Skip Schumacher joins us. Skip, how you doing?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
How's the new role treating you so far in spring training this season?
It's good. It's been a grind, that's for sure. A lot of work, but that's the fun part of it, I guess. And learning a lot of new faces and just getting back in the swing of things. It's a different side of the game for sure, but I love it.
Yeah, Skip, you think about the grind, but also the opportunity after a successful career that you had, but also making that decision. You're a family man. For the Padre fans that don't know that, but you're a family man, had to make a decision on taking this role and taking this opportunity. That takes a lot of time, but also has to be the right time.
Yeah, it was difficult. I have a 10-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter back home, and luckily I was about an hour away, so I didn't have to uproot my family. And so it's not like I'm going to Philadelphia for work and Florida spring training. This was a quick flight over to Arizona, and I get to commute and still sleep in my bed and still see my family in the morning. So that made the decision a lot easier.
Came into spring training as a player, and then all of a sudden it turned out that you were not going to play anymore. You're going to retire, but stayed within the organization, and now on the coaching staff. 2 years later? What kind of led to that? Did you realize at the time that this was something you wanted to do when your playing career ended, that you'd like to be on a major league coaching staff at some point?
I left the door open. I had no idea it was going to happen this soon. Having Mark McGuire on the staff, he's like my security blanket. I think I've been with him for so long, and just been around the guys. The last few years of being the kind of a special assistant has been a much easier transition, and the staff is so great, and the young core made it just an easy decision for me and to take on this new role.
Skip, I think everyone around the game always respected the way you approached the game. Your teammates meant a lot to you. How are you going to transfer into that role and keep that element of being that good teammate, but also having that respect? Because I think that's pretty important, taking on a new role.
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line of you got to realize that you're a coach now, not a player, and stay out of the clubhouse. And you still try to be that kind of veteran off the bench. If any of the young kids have a question, kind of be there for them. But luckily this year we have some really good veterans with Headley, and you got Tyson Ross as an invite, and obviously Adam Hosmer. There's not that much of a need for that veteran leadership as much as there was once when I came to spring a couple years ago.
I want to ask you about your off the field in the front office situation for you, what that was like, how different it was for that perspective for you.
It actually worked out great because I got to see the coaching side of it, see the young prospects and the talent that we all know we have, and it makes it easier for the players when they do come up to kind of have that face that they already know, and for me to see them again.
Well, Skip, we thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to the coaching staff. Looking forward to being around you this year.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, the Padres trail 4-2 to the Dodgers at the end of 5.5 from Peoria.
Dodgers lead the Padres 4-2. And new for the 2000 season at Petco Park, Terrace VIP boxes are the newest luxury seating option. Relax in your private space and fully cushioned seats, and don't miss a minute of the action. The in-seat service located behind home plate. These are available for nightly rentals or the season ticket membership. More info at padres.com/premium.
Well, last year we did a game from right center field. I'm pushing for a game down there this year, and those cushy seats.
I think you'd like to be behind the catcher. Don't you think that would be a little bit easier for
you? Definitely with the screen, and it'll all be good.
It really looked great out of that terrace in right center. It looked awesome.
It looked okay, but it was very difficult calling the game because everything is backwards.
Yes.
That's the issue.
I think it was a little easier for Mark Grant to have fun with the outfielders and stuff like that. But
we had so much fun with Manny Margot and Travis Jankowski. Here's a liner to left field for Tatis. Down to the left field corner, and Tatis motoring towards second base. He will get there with a double to begin things here in the 6th inning. Eric Hosmer's coming up, and he's always enjoyed Petco Park as a venue. Well, now it's his home.
You see him in a Royals uniform, and obviously the power comes into it. 25 home runs last year. See the one to right, but also has the left center power. The carry to left center, which you know at Petco Park, if you can go to both sides, you're going to do some damage. This is a guy that also played the All-Star game. He was very good there in the World Baseball Classic.
This one cued down the third baseline, and he will reach at first base safely. Just did. And taking third is Tatis. Boy, he couldn't have rolled that any better down the third baseline.
Yeah, that was the pull swing right off the end of the bat. That's a day for Eric Hosmer. You could see him out trying to pull the ball with a guy on second base. That cue shot, very difficult play for the third baseman, but legging it out is Hosmer. He's got power and he's got the bunting ability.
So that's the day for Hosmer after the infield hit, and now has runners at first and third. Here is Hunter Renfroe. Javi Guerra is running at first base.
You know, the important thing for Eric Hosmer, it's back-to-back days, much like Will Myers did. Back-to-back days, you're getting a base of at-bats. Probably going to get a breather tomorrow.
Yeah, so far that's what we have seen. Back-to-back days and a day off.
Yeah, I think that's the communication that you have amongst the manager. Maybe the bench coach comes into it. But you try to attack a plan for what your regulars are going to need for a base of at-bats.
Foul back to the screen, 1-2. Renfroe today has grounded out a shortstop, and last time up reached on an error by Max Muncy, the third baseman, who has been replaced. It's now Santana at third base. New catcher for the Dodgers, old friend Rocky Gale, doing the catching. Here's a grounder back up the middle. The shortstop Robinson to second base, and it won't be in time. Run scores. In from third is Tatis, and it's now 4-3 Dodgers as the Padres get a run back.
Well, I like this of Hunter Renfroe because he's just trying to put it in play, and you can see benefited from the positioning of where this ground ball goes. The hard infields make it very difficult to make that play. But putting in play rather than the punch out in an RBI situation.
So Austin Allen is going to hit here for Austin Hedges. Hedges getting his third home run of the spring today. Solo shot back in the second, and now Austin Allen bats for the first time from the left side. And takes strike one. .283, 22 home runs, 81 runs driven in, playing an A-ball last year in 121 games. Guys one to left field. Peters is out there now, and left fielder will make the catch. Runners remain where they are. First and second now with one down. That'll bring up Christian Villanueva. Villanueva 0 for 2 today. He has struck out swinging and flied out to right. The starters now getting 3 at-bats in today's action.
Yeah, and some of the younger guys, they might extend them just a little bit, but you try to control the amount of at-bats and also how long they're going to be on their legs. It's really a feel process for Andy Green, and that constant communication within the player and the manager.
Guerra pinch running at second base on a Renfroe at first base. With 1 out in the inning. Villanueva today has struck out swinging and flied out to right field 0 for 2. Line to left. Peters coming in, and that ball is going to fall for a base hit. Coming around from second is Guerra. Here comes the throw. It is up the line. A run in, and the game is tied. Padres tie it up 4-4. RBI single for Christian Villanueva.
I see Christian Villanueva. I think the last at bat set it up perfectly. Had that line drive to right field. This off the end of the bat. Javi Guerra at second base, pinch running for Hosmer. He has a good read on that ball and easily scores for the RBI single.
Dusty Coleman taking over at first base for Villanueva. He will pinch run. Runners at first and second, still 1 out, 2 runs in, and here is Alan Craig for his 3rd at bat of the day. He's grounded out to shortstop and struck out swinging. Craig with time in the big leagues with the St. Louis Cardinals, where he was most successful, and also with the Red Sox. Signed as a minor league free agent with an invite to camp. Was an NL All-Star in 2013 with the Cardinals at 315. Made his major league debut in April of 2010 for the Cardinals. Ahead in the count 3-0.
You know, you said it too, Don. I think he has such an awareness of the strike zone. But at times, and you know he's gone through the base of injuries, he's got to prove that health. But also, when he stays within the strike zone, he has to take that aggressive approach. What's going to get him that opportunity, a possible bench spot?
Picks up the outside corner, and it's 3-1 now to Craig.
Yeah, these scenarios right here, 3-1, you're looking for something in right in that middle in. He likes to go the other way, so maybe it's middle away for him, but just not missing that pitch. Well, that's the pass you want. To talk to Matt Stairs about what he saw in Alan Craig coming into spring training. He said he's using his lower half very well. That really is a good indication of how good he feels, how healthy he is. That's what you have to have if you're going to be able to drive that ball the other way. Everything has to be connected within your swing.
Ball 4, and Craig down to first base. He walks here to load the bases. So bases filled here with Padres, and it brings up Aswahe. Aswahe has grounded out to first and struck out looking. 0 for 2 today. He's also made a very nice defensive play at second base. That one almost got away. He just uncorked that pitch. That took off. Out of the crouch was Rocky Gale to reel that in. Pinch runner at first is Buddy Reed. Pinch running for Alan Craig. So they're going to have a lot of defensive changes when the Padres take the field.
You touched on it earlier with Rocky Gale and a situation where we couldn't talk about. A lot of people are thrilled that he gets another opportunity, but really upset that he left the organization. Thought the world of what Rocky Gale meant to this organization. And he can help the Dodgers moving forward. This is a guy that can handle a pitching staff. But he was taken off the roster when Eric Hosmer was signed. 40-man roster spot. So they had to make one of those tough decisions. Ended up losing him to the Dodgers.
Line down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball into the right field corner. From third, coming in is Renfroe. From second base is Coleman, and Reed is going to try and score from first. He does. Bases clearing triple for Asuaje, and the Padres take a 7-4 lead. Fair ball down the right field line to the corner, and he clears the bases. Time now for the Bill Howell play of the game.
And why wouldn't it be this way? Bases clearing triple for Carlos Asuaje, getting on top of that pitch. Watch the Wimbledon action. Yeah, get out Cyclops right off the chalk.
So that is going to do it for the Dodgers pitcher Mark Lowe, as he gives up a total of 5 runs so far here in the inning. Padres now have a 7-4 lead with a pitching change from Peoria.
Outside the Roosevelt.
Is giving the Padres a 7-4 lead. He's at third base right now. Don't see this every day. A Jankowski versus Jankowski battle. Jordan Jankowski pitching for the Dodgers against Travis Jankowski for the Padres.
No relation.
No relation. But they are Jankowskis.
I think our Jankowski has better salad.
No doubt. Sort of unkept, I think, during this offseason. He hasn't done a lot to his wig.
You always hear me say it. I'm not a hair guy, but yeah.
You're not?
No, I'm not a hair guy.
Come on. Infield in all the way around here against Travis Jankowski, who makes his third plate appearance of the day. Walked and scored in the 3rd inning and flied out to left in the 5th.
Infield in for the Dodgers. This situation for Travis Jankowski with 2 strikes, just putting it in play.
And he does. Liner to center field and diving forward to make the catch out there is Verdugo. And he fires it back into the infield. Nice play. Holds Suaje at 3rd base. Nice diving catch for Verdugo.
Yeah, you wonder if Carlos Suaje was on playing infield in on contact. Nice play by Verdugo. But Suaje has to go back to 3rd base, and he's not able to tag. Sometimes when you're on that contact play, your momentum's going forward, and it's hard to adjust with that line drive.
So 2 down in the inning. Shane Peterson batting for the first time. This was Jose Perella's spot, and Perella today was 1 for 3 with an infield hit in the 3rd inning. Shane Peterson, 30 years of age. Last year played a total of 36 games in Tampa Bay. Big league time with the Rays, the Brewers, and the Oakland A's. Signed by the Padres as a minor league free agent in December. Numbers last year with Tampa Bay. Down 0-2. A 5-run inning to this point for the Padres, batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Came in trailing 4-2. Now enjoy a 7-4 lead. Tough inning for Mark Lowe, who is charged with those 5 runs. On 5 hits, he walked a batter. With a big hit, the bases clearing triple for Suaje. Now Jordan Jankowski in the game for the Dodgers, trying to get out of this inning without any further damage.
Looks like they're going fastball up.
Shane Peterson attending Long Beach State University. 2-time All-Big West performer. And a 22-game hitting streak. 5th longest in school history back in 2007.
Over a 3-week hitting streak. That's pretty impressive.
Grounds it foul, and it hangs at 2-2. Started his professional career in A-ball in Batavia. Did you ever play in Batavia?
I did not.
I was there.
One of very few places I didn't play.
It was in the Penn League. It was a Philadelphia Phillies affiliate at one time.
And where were you? You with the Mets?
I was with the Pittsfield Mets in the New York Penn League. We were in Batavia.
Your favorite restaurant in Batavia?
I don't remember that. It was brief. You play those 2-game series, you're in, you're out. I don't think I actually had a restaurant.
Taco Bell, maybe? I had a buddy of mine that said his favorite restaurant was 7-Eleven in Springtrap.
Was that Mark Grant? And ball 4, down to first base goes Peterson.
Yeah, you do some odd things in the minor leagues because of being with the meal money, and
that's a big
sometimes
factor.
a little difficult. But he said his favorite restaurant was 7-Eleven, and it wasn't Mark Grant.
If you don't have the cash flow, it's kind of restricted as to what your restaurants are going to be available to you.
Those microwave burritos are delicious.
It's perfect. Hot, cheesy. It's all good.
Bean and cheese.
How can you go wrong?
You can't go wrong.
First and third here now. Padres have batted around, and here is Tatis again.
Well, Tatis, his last at bat, lined a double down the left field line. So that's a certain calmness that really is impressive. Obviously, he's going to have the ability to not only take that next step. Ended the year last year in Double-A, where San Antonio Missions went to the playoffs.
A little hit and run action there with Peterson running at first base and Tatis fouling it off to the right. Goes again. Tatis takes, throw down to second base, and safe there. And in from third base, scoring is Aswahe. Padres pick up their 8th run. Oh, a double steal there. And in the back door coming in from third base is Aswahe.
Well, you got to love this, and it's the aggressiveness trying to steal that run. I remember that they're going to be a little more aggressive on the base pass this year, and Aswahe, after the stolen base of second, scampers into home plate for an added run.
So a 6th-run inning now for San Diego as Tatis skies one foul. Down from first base is Rios by the dugout. He won't have a play. Rocky Gale was there as well, the Dodgers catcher, and bounces off the steps and up into the seats. Swahe with a triple down the right field line that drove in 3 runs. Comes in to score the 8th Padres run.
Carlos Swahe talking to Johnny Washington, the assistant hitting coach, last year's first base coach.
Come on, Toddy.
In the dirt, Rocky Gale, nice play to block that. No further advance at second base. Shane Peterson remains at second. And a full count now to Tatis. He started this inning with a double. Now a liner to left field, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Peterson coming around. The throw is going to be off the mark, and the Padres get their 9th run. Big inning, a 7-run inning so far for San Diego. Second hit of the inning for Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking ball at first look. Yes, it is. And he covers the plate, even off the plate a little bit. This is off the end, but he lines it into left field for the RBI single. Back-to-back hits for Fernando Tatis Jr.
So Tatis at first base picks up the RBI, and here is Javi Guerra. Came in to pinch run, getting his first plate appearance. He pinch ran for Eric Hosmer, who had an infield hit in this inning. .222, 9 homers, 53 runs batted in between Lake Elsinore and San Antonio. And a pop-up to shallow center field. The shortstop Robinson out. And calling as well as catching out number 3. Big inning for the Padres. They score 7 times in the inning. With the bases loaded, Carlos Aswahe with a triple down the right field line clears the bases. Padres enjoy a 9-4 lead as we head to the 7th.
And the beneficiary of it is Brad Wick, who's joining me right now. Nice to be able to talk to you eye to eye, big man. And first of all, how tall are you? I've seen you listed at 6'7" to 6'9". What's the official Wickometer read?
Shoes on or off?
Let's say shoes off.
Shoes off, 6'7.5".
Okay, 6'7.5". Awesome to talk to you face to face on this one. Hey, how'd you feel out there today?
I felt good, man. It's good to be out there on the baseball field grinding with the boys again. So, and especially with the run support we just got. I mean, it's just a fun time for baseball right now, being a Padre.
Yeah. Now this is your first Cactus League win, if I'm not mistaken, and you realize you get an 80-inch flat screen TV and an Xbox for this, right?
I don't know about all that. I'm just happy for the 0 and the run support. So I'll just take that for now.
Brad, was your second outing of the spring. You've thrown the ball great in both of the outings. How exciting is it for you to be in big league camp and to be facing these hitters and having success?
I mean, it's awesome, man. It's a way to gauge yourself, to see what you're made of. You know, you're out there competing with the best in the business. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity I'm given, and I'm gonna roll with it.
Brad, as far as your transition to the bullpen, you were in the rotation a couple of years ago. They transitioned you over there. How did that go for you? It seems like it's gone pretty smoothly so far.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the bullpen. I enjoyed starting, but I mean, I like throwing the ball in general. So it's just whenever they want to give me the ball, I'm gonna go out there and give my team the best chance I can give them to win a ball game. So.
And oftentimes, guys going to the bullpen find an extra 4 to 5 miles an hour in the fastball. Is that the case for you? Or have you always been a high 90s guy?
This was the case for me. I definitely wasn't a high 90s guy as a starting pitcher, but I made the transition to the bullpen, and I picked up a tick or two, so that was nice.
Yeah, what's interesting too with your repertoire is normally guys reduce some of their pitches when they go to the bullpen, but it looks like you've kept them all. You've got the curveball, slider, changeup as well. That's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah. It definitely did help me being a starter for my entire life to get a feel for those pitches. I actually did pick up a pitch going to the bullpen. I started throwing a slider, so I'm just trying to give myself the best chance to get people out that I can give myself. So that I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at them.
Well, you go with whatever you got, right? Hey, as a big guy, is it challenging for you to get your mechanics down? I know for me, it always took me a little longer in spring training. It looks like you're pretty locked in, though.
It definitely does take a little bit. I spent some time this offseason working on a lot of timing stuff in my mechanics. It definitely does take, I feel, a little longer for us big guys to get those levers timed up correctly, but I mean, right now I feel pretty good, so I'm just going to stay where I'm at and keep doing what I'm doing. So.
Brad, there's so much talk about the exciting young arms in this organization, including yourself. Talk a little bit about maybe the sense of pride that you guys have about what's on the horizon for this team.
For sure, we definitely have some dudes in our system, absolutely. So, I mean, it's an exciting time to be a Padre, and it's an exciting time to be a Padre fan. So it's going to be fun.
Brad, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the great outing today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, as Brad said, there's a lot of dudes in this organization. He's one of them, bringing it really hard from the left side. Look forward to seeing him in the big leagues before too long. Guys, back over to you.
Scan, how tall do you go?
I go 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah.
So you're actually bigger than.
I might have had him by a quarter of an inch, maybe.
Wow.
You know, that was 6'8" back in my playing days. So, you know, at this point, I might have lost a half inch.
Are you shrinking now?
Well, you know how it is with that age thing. Yeah. There's no fighting it. So I might be 6'5" by now.
Scan man, but with that beautiful moss that you have,
yes.
that is
6'8".
Yeah, I try to poof it up a little bit each day to make up for what I'm losing in stature from Father Time catching up to me.
But it is funny to see eye to eye.
Yes.
I love that part of it.
Not many interviews you do are you eye to eye with a guy.
No, it's not very common. And what's been really fun is having Ralph Sampson, the former NBA player, walking around camp. And so now I'm actually talking to somebody like this. I'm getting a little taste of what it's like for some of the other guys that do interviews with me. So, but it's great to see these big, tall, athletic players out here. And he is bringing the noise as some of the other guys are.
Saw Ralph Sampson the other day around the batting cage. I was thinking about posting him up.
Yeah, you should.
Backing in.
I should have fed you the ball, back him in. He would swat you so many times.
Oh, is this short, fat guy?
And why is he backing
what
up to me?
What is he doing? Get away from me. Well, Brad Wick was trapped there momentarily down the right field line, but he's okay. He's going to head to the clubhouse.
You know, impressive stuff. And I think that's what really came out of it. I know Bob is very impressed with his body of work, but I think the younger talent that you're seeing, not only from the starting rotation, because you hear a lot of those guys' names. We saw yesterday Joey Lucchesi, also Eric Lauer, but today you're seeing the relievers coming into play, and Jose Castillo is very impressive, and Brad Wick, one of those guys that is going to be knocking on the door, and it's a surplus of guys that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about.
A guy that Andy Green is excited about, Kirby Yates, who had a very good year last year, in the game now for him and on the mound. He was an important part of last year's team.
Yeah, and I think you can chalk it up to the front office really finding Kirby Yates, giving him that opportunity. It's that power arm that really gets a lot of swing and miss at the top of the strike zone. But another added element to that bullpen that really becomes an opportunity to shorten games up.
He was claimed off waivers from the Angels at the time and ended up with all the changes that the Padres made in the trades of Buchter and Maurer and others. Ended up towards the end of the game and in some high leverage situations in the second half of the year.
Well, you said that about Craig Stammen.
Yeah.
You're also seeing it about Kirby Yates. These are guys that have that mentality that you fall in love with.
Grounder right side as Urias in the game will go to first base for the out. As taking second base is Ramos with now 2 down. So 2 down, runner at second base, and Edwin Rios coming up here for LA.
You know, Don, we touch on the bullpen and how it's comprised, and that can be their strength. I think a lot of people and fans of the Padres are wondering what's going to happen with the starting rotation. How are they going to start building this pitching staff as being a dominant staff? Yes, it's going to take some time, but I think the elements now and the competition that you're seeing, like, that's really what you have to ask. There's going to be guys that are going to have to step up, take that next year of progression to Nelson Lamet, Luis Perdomo. But when you start meshing that starting rotation with the bullpen pieces we're talking about with Yates, Brad Hand, also Craig Stammen, and the younger players, Padres are starting to, you're not going to want to face a lot of these guys, and I think the opportunity to be competitive every single night in and night out, that's going to be important.
Seems like there is a better quality of starter as part of this 7-8 guy battle going on right now for the 5-man rotation than what we saw last year of these 7 or 8 guys trying to battle.
Yeah, we talked to Andy Green today in his presser, and he said that they're going to have a B game tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., and you're starting to hear the names of Colin Ray, Robbie Erlin,
yes,
to go along with Luis Perdomo tomorrow, and that's exciting for this organization. How they're going to step up, show that they're healthy with Colin Ray and Robbie Erlin especially.
Depth is something they haven't had a lot of, and it seems like all of a sudden you do.
Yeah, there was times last couple years that you're looking to find those gems out of another camp in spring training. That's not a comfortable feeling if you're in the front office. Now they're right in front of you. Darren Balsley understands it's the important part of, it's kind of fun to go and watch those bullpens. You're seeing some arms that are coming from acquired pieces, but also coming from your own organization, and they're developing. I think that's exciting times for the Padres.
Edwin Rios, 0 for 2 in the ballgame, has flied out to right and struck out, and now grounds one right side. Josh Naylor taking over at first will lead Yates to the bag for the out. That ends the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch from Peoria. Padres have a 9-4 lead.
Padres over the Dodgers as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And we were just discussing the bullpen. Had a nice talk with Brad Wick, who's making a run for the left side. And here's a take a look at what it's starting to look like in the eyes of Andy Green. So the locks coming in, of course, Brad Hand, Craig Stammen, Yates, and Makita. But then there's some battles going on both from the left side. Now the incumbents are Baumann and McGrath. Strom has been working as a starter. He might be able to transition to the bullpen. We just saw Brad Wick throwing the ball 97 miles an hour, and Luke Casey's been very impressive as well. On the right side, Phil Maton did a great job for the Padres last year. You got to believe that he's a front runner. Carter Capps trying to come back from that thoracic outlet syndrome surgery that he had. Wingenter throwing hard. Wilhelmsen also a hard thrower. Brewer with a nasty curveball. And guys, don't forget that there's going to be a long man in this pen at some point. It could be one of the starters. The guys that are candidates: Chris Young, Robbie Erlin, Matt Stram, who we mentioned earlier, and Jordan Lyles. Those are the guys that could be long men. The thing to keep in mind also, Andy has to make a decision at the start of the season: a 7-man or an 8-man bullpen. 7 is probably the way he'll go until the first off day 3 days into the season. At that point, they probably go with the 8-man. Why? There's no days off for about 18 days. So that's how it's playing out right now, guys.
All right, well, it's going to be very interesting, the bullpen situation. And I do agree with you, though, it is going to be a strong bullpen. However, it shakes down, and that's certainly been a big thing the last couple of years. But certainly this year, a lot of those returning guys that they extended, it is strong.
Yeah, and you look at the beginning of the schedule, and I think Bob makes a good point. When you're thinking about 18 straight days, you're going to have some transactions involved there where you're going to have to be covered when it comes down to the bullpen. That's what I see. That's the difference of the bullpen. There's going to be guys in AAA that you're going to be able to pluck and have a fresh arm to be available, and they're going to be confident about putting that young man or that young arm, whether it's left-handed or right-handed, into that bullpen.
Franchi Cordero batting here for the first time today. Pinch ran in the 6th inning. Interesting in listening to Andy Green talk about Brad Hand, too. May not just be working the 9th inning. It depends where that big out is going to be, and it kind of be used as a different kind of closer. That's the way baseball's going right now. This is a gap route towards left center for Cordero. He can fly, headed for second base, and he will pull it up with a leadoff double that begins things here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now, Franchi had a very successful winter league, and why I say that, the confidence is rising for this young outfielder. Saw last year a lot of swing and miss. This looks like one of those two-seamers away that he takes the other way into that left center gap. There's pop in the bat, but there's also speed to his game.
So leadoff double starts the bottom of the 7th inning. Austin Allen flied out to left field, his first plate appearance in the 6th inning.
You know, getting back to your point, Don, I think the Brad Hand situation is going to be, when is our high leverage scenario coming up? I mean, if it's the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up, I think Andy Green's going to ask Brad to come into that situation. That's what he wants. But now you're starting to see guys that step up and maybe make that situation easier.
Liner to center that is caught by Verdugo. He's made a couple of good running catches. One diving, and that one just got a good jump coming inward and able to make the grab for the first out here of the 7th inning.
Verdugo, one of the best top prospects in the Dodger organization, who had heard his name around the trade deadline last year. We saw him up at Petco Park in September. Athletic play in the outfield.
Now one down, runner at second. And here is Dusty Coleman, who took over at third base for Christian Villanueva. Big part of that first week or two of the season also will be how deeply into games that starters can go, and how much you have to go to that bullpen. How taxed will it be?
Yeah, and I think Andy's taken a passive approach when it comes down to this spring training. You don't want to push the pedal too quickly, and that might come into the mindset of where the starters are. If they're built up to 75, 80, maybe 100 pitches, that's really the determination. If your last start of spring training, you're built up to that 90 range, then you can start extending them a little bit. But I think baseball is starting to reduce that 100 pitch barrier that a lot of teams have used in the past. Now they're starting to go, hey, listen, I don't want to get to that third time around the order. I want to use my bullpen pieces when it comes to that scenario.
As a result, the number of innings that starters are going also decreasing. I mean, you're talking about looking for 5 from some guys now.
Used to be, you know, the 200 inning mark was one of those things, and then you saw the number 1 starters. They get up to the 250, 260 range because they're pitching deeper in the ball games. I think that's going away a little bit, and it really comes down to roster construction and how you're using your bullpen pieces or even spot starters out of the minor leagues.
Dusty Coleman strikes out for the second out here of the 7th inning. So 2 down and runner at second base. Buddy Reed's going to bat here. He had pinch run for Alan Craig in the 6th inning. 234 average. Last year in A-ball, 6 homers and 35 runs batted in for Reed.
Buddy Reed spent some time in Australia playing winter ball this year. Not a bad place to go play winter ball. This young man possesses a lot of athletic ability. It's on Carlos Asuaje's triple. He was pinch running, and him running around those bases, you can understand the reason why they're very high on this young man.
Cordero at second base, led off the inning with a double, still there with 2 down in the inning. And Buddy Reed, born in the Bronx, New York. Second round pick by the Padres in 2016. Last year in Fort Wayne in Single A. Out of the University of Florida. 22-year-old. Batting with the Padres on top 9-4. And with 2 outs here in the last half of the 7th. Reed listed at 6'4", 210 pounds. Fouls it off to the left out of play.
Yeah, aggressive swing there. And I remember A.J. Preller talking about the athletic ability of Buddy Reed coming out of the University of Florida. One of those late developers that you just take that athletic and try to mold him into that player that he's eventually going to be. Sometimes that takes a little bit longer.
In there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Culver. That ends the inning as the Padres leave Cordero at second on top 9-4.
About the promotion?
I don't think so.
Padres lead 9-4. And Padres opening series weekend presented by Saquon Casino is March 29th through the 31st against the Milwaukee Brewers. Don't miss the festivities all weekend long, including an all-fan fleece blanket giveaway on Saturday the 31st. Get details and tickets at Padres.com. The Brew Crew.
Well, Colton Brewer is now into the game for the Padres. 7th arm used of the day for Andy Green.
A big-bodied right-hander. There's the numbers in 3 different levels.
25-year-old from Dallas, Texas.
Now, you think about common themes and throughout all of these pitchers that the Padres are so excited about. You see the high strikeouts but low walk rates predominantly throughout that. That's the theme that I like to see. Because in years past, been in different organizations, they always are enamored by velocity. But then you get guys that would have a tough time with location, being able to have command. Well, throughout this Padres system, you're seeing a very common theme with that.
Foul ball, deep third. Coleman able to retrieve it, but a foul ball. And kind of hang at 2-2. Peters will have to come on back here for the Dodgers.
I think obviously you have to have the stuff. You have to have the ability to punch people out, because I think a lot of young pitchers think of the strikeouts. Well, if you're not walking too many guys, and you're starting to, we hear about whip, walks and hits per innings pitch. That's something that you have to, be aware of. And the Padres theme is definitely getting those guys that have the punch out ability, but limit those walks.
Fouled off to the right and out of play.
He's going to need another one. Sounded like it broke his bat.
Now Colton Brewer signed as a free agent.
Looks like another guy that could be interviewed by Bob and see eye to eye, don't you think? That's how we should judge some of these prospects now.
How do they match up against Bob Scanlon?
Yes.
Curveball fouled off to the right, out of play.
That's a good curveball because it's at 12-6. But also has that downward plane and driving that fastball to go along with that breaking ball.
Line to left. Peterson is out there, and the sinking liner able to make the catch. First down of the 8th inning. So one down. That'll bring up Rocky Gale.
I got to say, and you think back to the moments that Rocky Gale had at the big league level. I'll never forget his home run. I'll never forget his reaction on his face.
Smiled all the way around the bases.
It was so great. Mike and I had him on the pregame show the day after, and he was still smiling from ear to ear.
Ground ball back up the middle. Ranging is Guerra. Sidearm toss and plenty of time to get Rocky Gale for out number 2. That was one of those great moments that you will not forget, and I'm sure he won't either.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the first, and you're seeing the body of work for these guys that are in the minor leagues, grinding in an organization. Just a true professional is Rocky Gale, and we wish him nothing but the best.
The Dodgers need a hitter here right now, and I think they're trying to figure that out. There's nobody in the on-deck circle, and there's no one moving up here at the moment. Now Dave's got somebody going here. He has enough guys down there in the dugout.
Yeah,
he can set somebody up. Christian Santana will be that somebody. Santana had taken over for Tolles last year. Rookie ball, A ball, 54 games combined to hit .363. Colton Brewer last year pitching an A ball, AAA and AA. There's the year in AAA Scranton. This one fouled off. Signed by the Padres as a major league free agent November the 22nd. Originally a Yankees second-round pick. Got him ducking for cover, almost a strike. Got some pretty nasty movement.
Yeah, he sure does. Especially when he gets on top of that breaking ball.
2 down in the inning on a line out and a ground out. Santana batting here with a count of 2-2. Padres on top 9-4 with the Dodgers batting in the top half of the 8th inning. Full count now. Having trouble kind of harnessing it at the moment.
Yeah, and that's a struggle too. Your emotions are involved. You want to give that good impression.
On the ground to short. Guerra is at short, a bobble, and it's going to cost him. Cannot pick it. Place went to the ground trying to grab it and could not, and reaching at first base is Santana.
It looked like Javi Guerra peaked just a little bit too soon on this 3-hopper. It's off his glove, and he's not able to grab it in time to get that opportunity to throw him out.
So first miscue of the day for the Padres defensively. 2 down with a runner at first. Travis Teheran batting here for the first time today. This had been Yasmani Grandal's spot, and Grandal was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts on the day. Big inning for the Padres in this game was the 6th inning. They scored 7 times. Coming into that inning trailing 4-2 at the time. Now on top 9-4 with the Dodgers batting in the 8th. And Carlos Asuaje with a bases clearing triple.
Yeah. Fernando Tatis Jr. 2 hits in that inning, both a double and a single. The Carlos Asuaje triple was probably the big blow.
Ball 4, and he walks him. So all of a sudden with 2 down, Dodgers have 2 on here. And that'll bring up Errol Robinson. Max Muncy had been at third base, was 0 for 3 in the game, and now Robinson coming up here with 2 down and 2 on for the Dodgers here in the 8th inning. There's a strike, strike 1. Good pitch, and it's 0-2. Had him fooled.
Back-to-back breaking balls. That one had a little more depth to it.
There you go, strike 3. Went to it again, and that'll work. 2 left on by the Dodgers. The Padres have a 9-4 lead. To the bottom of the 8th we go.
Padres lead 9-4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And the Padres offer a series of week-long summer baseball camps open to boys and girls ages 5 through 12. Campers get exceptional instruction along with a unique major league experience. Camps are offered in 7 locations throughout San Diego from June through August. Learn more and register your future Padre at padres.com/camps.
Padres enjoying a 9-4 lead. A lot of youngsters having a good time here today at Peoria Sports Complex. Spring training rolling along here at the Cactus League.
We gotta get that youngster signed up for the camps.
Yeah. Kind of a chilly day here today. If you're not in the sun, it's on the chilly side.
I would not go short sleeves. Definitely wouldn't.
Luis Urias going to lead it off here for the Padres in the bottom of the 8th inning. The pitcher for the Dodgers, Guillermo Moscoso, now into the game. 8th pitcher used by LA. Last season at AAA. Luis Urias, 20 years old, from Mexico. Signed as an international free agent in 2013. Last year in San Antonio, 118 games for him. Near 300, ended the year hitting a .296. Played in 118 games for San Antonio last year.
How the Padre fans and the Dodger fans are seeing Tommy Lasorda head out of the ballpark. Good to see Tommy at the ballpark. Always gives you a different look and a lot of laughter. See the hugs all around. The ambassador of baseball.
Full count to Urias. And just off the outside edge, leadoff walk. Pretty good at bat there for Urias.
You know, so many times that we come to spring training, we want to know some information about some of these younger players. Luis Urias, everyone is talking about. And how he has bat-to-ball skills and the approach that he's taken early in this camp. It's a very good plate appearance.
Lead runner on here for the Padres in the 8th inning. And here's Josh Naylor, took over at first base. Naylor playing in the Arizona Fall League. And last year in A-ball and in Double-A, hit at .280, 10 homers, 64 runs batted in. Regular participant in the Futures game at Petco Park. Padres on deck. Naylor from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Came over from the Marlins, part of a trade, the trade deadline in 2016. Pops it up down the third base line. Santana in Fairground will make the catch for the first out here at the bottom of the 8th inning as Naylor is retired.
Well, our next telecast is Friday, so that gives us a little bit of time. What do you got going on your off day tomorrow?
Laundry tomorrow. Big day. Got a lot going on. I've been here now over a week. And the game you speak of will be Friday at noon. The Kansas City Royals will be here at Peoria Stadium. We'll have it live for you on Fox Sports San Diego.
Looking forward to that one as well.
Between now and then, I'll have some clean clothes.
No movie tomorrow?
I don't think so. Time to go to the grocery store, restock. First week is over.
I think you should do a food log. Maybe a food segment. I don't think people realize
I don't think I'm that good a chef. That's a problem.
No, you take it to another level.
Check with my family. A lot of failures.
So if you're a cook and you're not a chef, then when do you become a chef?
When you make good food, I think.
You make good food.
Got a lot of people sick over the years, you know.
No, you have a really good fish game. I think your seafood game is really good. Fish tacos.
Yes. Which is tough in Arizona, I'm finding. I have to find a good seafood place here, and I think you guys have helped me out here.
There's not huge, large bodies of water around here.
Not a lot of ocean.
I'm saying you went the shrimp game last night.
Yes. This is in the dirt. Gale blocks it, but to second base goes Urias. He broke right away aggressively. And now into scoring position with one down in the inning. After all the heat I took over my shrimp scampi yesterday, I sent you guys out photos last night.
And listen, I loved it because when you sent me the photo, I was debating on the shrimp and where you got it, what was going to happen, but it looked the part.
It was okay. Yeah, not bad. It was very good.
Did you have anything to go along with the shrimp scampi?
I did. I had a salad.
Yeah.
Nice little salad. I didn't want to show you that, though.
No,
that would bore you.
Totally. It's about the main course.
Look out, and hit with that is Peterson. Down to first base he goes. Nowhere to go. Got him in the back of the legs, I think.
What's tough is the off-speed pitch gets bounced the previous pitch, and then you get a fastball off the right hamstring.
That'll bring up Franmil Reyes with 2 on and 1 away.
I'm saying you do a food log. I think it would be pretty interesting. I'm interested in that stuff. I don't think you realize. I am very interested in how.
If you follow me on Twitter, you're really disappointed with what you get. I mean, you get pictures of food, and you get fish that I occasionally catch in San Diego.
Let's come up with something.
That's what you got.
Donnie's food log. I mean,
I did pick the stick. I did have the gnome a couple places during the off season.
That's a sensitive subject.
It was.
I mean, all this time that I spend talking and trying to stir things up. I don't know if you know this, but I have never won, and you've been only here a few years, and you got a trophy already.
I am on the cup. Yeah, I took a look at it too because I have it in my house. It's prominently displayed. And I noticed that Mark Grant had won it twice, and they have all the winners in a row. And you're right, I don't see Mark swinging.
Yeah, my name's not even close to that.
They don't have the runner-up or anything on it, so I don't know where you finished.
I know I'm supposed to act like I know what I'm doing.
You're an expert.
No, far from that. That's why I'm trying to divert into your food log.
Yeah.
That's kind of more important.
The stick is going to be here before you know it. I mean, I was thinking about that trophy is leaving my house.
Are you pumped up for it?
I'm excited, but I mean, it's tough to win back-to-back. I mean, very
Mark
difficult.
Grant did, so I think it's available.
Difficult to repeat, I think. As we found out over the years.
I'm just saying that I'll probably start talking a little bit more than I should. Because I like that competitive spirit that we get to create.
You can talk, too. You can throw some stuff out there. You're not afraid.
I actually think Pomeranz really gets upset at times. So I think it's more Mike Pomeranz driven.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're not afraid to talk smack.
No, you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear Mark Grant talk about it's the bench jockeying kind of. That's how we have to take it into our pick the stick. For all you fans out there, we pick a player every single day we think's going to do well.
Ground ball, base hit into center field. From second base, Urias will score, and the Padres grab their 10th run of the day on top 10-4.
See, so I took Franmil Reyes today as pick the stick, and he comes up with an RBI single.
Nice.
So that would be 2 points here. This is how you get 2 points. So hard ground ball up the middle and the RBI single. One for the hit, one for the RBI. The big man continues to impress.
2 on, 2 down, a run in, and Javi Guerra coming up. I do think the point system, and this comes from the winner, needs to be looked at during this offseason.
So you're saying that the people that are in charge need to adjust?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if I was a former winner, I'd probably have input in that, but I really don't. Obviously, the point system's messing my game up.
I think that the fact that you get an error defensively takes away from your offensive output.
You don't like that.
It just does not. It makes no sense to me.
Well, it's part of the choices.
Yeah.
Have a guy out of position, maybe.
1-0 is popped up right side. Estevez and Ahmed. And it's going to be Ahmed who makes the catch, first baseman for second out of the inning. Frenchie Cordero coming up here now for the Padres with 2 down in the inning and 2 on.
Last at bat, Frenchie Cordero took a pitch the opposite way for a double. A lot of confidence in this young man. He has to take that next step. I think a lot of the adjustments are the strikeout rate. And also trying to hit the fastball a little bit more. I think that's the adjustment I'd like to see him do.
23 years old from the Dominican Republic. Spent the majority of the season last year in El Paso. His first action at the major league level, appearing in 30 games for the Padres last year. Hit 228 in his big league time. He had 21 triples between AAA El Paso and San Diego, but all professional baseball.
Yeah, and I don't care where you're playing. I mean, that is something that is extra special, especially the size of Frenchie Cordero.
21 triples.
Yeah. He has the home run power. Remember last year talking to the coaching staff, and there was a lot of power on this club coming into spring training. They said he had the most power of all of them during batting practice. Hopefully that translates to the game. You know, when you talk about the fastball, you have to be able to handle velocity at this level. Nowadays, it's even more important. So many pitchers are pitching up in the upper 90s. So if you're late on the fastball, they're going to continue to pound it to you. So you have to prove that you can handle that.
Following the 2017 season, Cordero earned MVP and Rookie of the Year honors in the Dominican Winter League. Hit .323 with a .393 on base percentage. First made his big league debut May 27th of last year. Inside out swing and a foul off to the left out of play.
Yeah, and some people might be saying out there, well, obviously he does hit fastballs. I think you start evaluating how you can handle it consistently. And if you hit consistent fastballs, then you're going to start getting breaking balls. You look at the stars around the game. We see the home runs that they hit on these highlight reels. And a lot of it's mistake pitches. You have to earn that by hitting the fastball and also doing damage on bad breaking balls.
Skips in for ball 2, 2-2. Action in the pen for the Padres. Looks like Trey Winginter is going to be coming into the game to try to finish it off here for the Padres. On top right now, 10-4. Swing and a miss, and Cordero strikes out on the high fastball that ends the inning. Padres add a run, take a 10-4 lead to the 9th inning. The big inning for the Padres, the 6th inning when they scored 7 times. Carlos Eswaje with a bases-clearing triple, a couple of hits in that inning for Fernando Tatis as well. Double and a single, all part of a 10-4 lead for the Padres over the Dodgers. And to the 9th inning we go. I want to remind you, the next game coming up for the Padres, the Kansas City Royals will be here Friday at noon. And we'll have it for you right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres will be on the road against the Rangers tomorrow, but back home against the Royals on Friday. Trey Wingenter into the game now for San Diego.
Trey Wingenter is coming off a very good appearance against the Angels his last time out. Very live fastball to go along with a power slider.
And Diaz to lead it off against Wingenter. Trey Wingenter, 23 years old, 6'7", 200 pounds. Signed as a 17th round pick in 2015. Diaz with a big cut there. The fastball by him, 1-1. Wingenter was named a Texas League midseason All-Star and a postseason All-Star for San Antonio last year in his 49 appearances. 2.45 earned run average. Spent the entire regular season with San Antonio. He was closing games, converting 20 of 26 save opportunities. Check swing foul to the backstop, and it hangs here at 2-2.
Really has good finish to that fastball. And when it gets into that hitting zone, it almost looks like it takes to another gear. Saw a lot of swing and miss on the fastball in his last appearance.
Huntsville, Alabama is Trey Wingenter, working here in the 9th inning. Fly ball, struck pretty well, deep left field. Peterson going back, looking up, and that is gone. A home run to the Berman left. Diaz taking it out of the yard. It is now 10-5. Padres on top. Third home run of the day for the Dodgers.
Yeah, sitting right on that fastball because he knew that he was proud of that fastball at the top of the strike zone. That's what was so impressive.
Able to get him to swing and miss at a fastball earlier in the count, but couldn't get that one by him. Diaz made him pay. Now Estevez will take a pitch up and in. No action in the Padres pen. This is Wingenter's game to wrap up here. Popped up left side. The shortstop Guerra on the short lawn and left will make the catch for out number 1 of the 9th inning. Well, pop up into short left field, and Wingenter has his first out here in the 9th inning. Looks like he may have jammed Estevez with that pitch. Comes Alex Verdugo, who's made a couple of very good defensive plays in center field. And now bats for the second time in the game. He grounded out to second base in the 7th inning. kind of runs away 2-0.
Well, Don, how about the Zapatos? He's rocking the white Billy White shoes.
Just makes you look fast.
Yeah, I look at it this way. I didn't want to give any attention to my feet. Because I know you don't know a lot about my game, but
no,
really,
I do. I knew you worked very fast. Yeah, I know your legs would move, but you wouldn't really go anywhere. Right?
So any cleat that didn't give the appearance that they had to watch my feet was probably a benefit for me. But obviously, we've seen Alex use those white shoes in center field today.
I know more about your game than you know. I've looked into you, Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's not probably a good thing, but I did. I wanted some shoes that really took the attention away from my feet.
So for you, it wasn't all about the shoes.
Oh, you remember Ricky Henderson in the day where he had the neon green? I mean, he was looking the part. Who didn't love Ricky Henderson?
He was also kind of quick.
Yeah, he had the ability.
To right field on a line, and that's going to get in front of Franmil Reyes. A one-out single to right field. Second hit of the inning for the Dodgers.
And obviously, you sit for Dugo. He's made some nice plays in the outfield, and he lines one to right. It's got to be the shoes. Yeah, those are rocking. Those are nice.
Kind of the high top variety, too.
Yeah.
Up over the ankle.
Not like a Moises Alou, because you remember Moises Alou almost looked like a boxing shoe. Yeah. But he could flat out rake.
1 out, 1 on. Ahmed batting here, standing in on the right side, and Tardy on the fastball.
One of my favorite teammates ever, Moises Alou, up in San Francisco. His dad was managing. Man, I just loved the way he approached the game. It was a consistency, but he just could put the barrel on the baseball.
Down and away, 2-1. Center fielder Frenchie Cordero over towards right center. Good size gap out in left center. Dodgers trying to make some noise here in the 9th inning. Foul down the first base line, and it evens at 2-2.
Don, you know all year long we're going to talk about Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman. In 1998, he blew one save, and it was Moises Alou. He had a one-run home run that tied the ball game in the 9th. He was with the Houston Astros. And it was kind of crushing for us because he had such a perfect season going. Well, he dominated all the way through the playoff run that we had.
Swing and a miss, and this one is by Ahmed. He strikes out, 2 down in the 9th inning.
It almost seemed like everyone was guessing wrong that year against Trevor Hoffman, except Moises Alou. And I can't wait for the end of July. We're so excited, and congratulations to our Hall of Famer.
Are you going to go?
I am. I'm not missing that.
No.
Just the way he presented himself, what a great teammate. I think all of us that have been around him talk about that first, and then you put all the numbers and what you believe in that make him a Hall of Famer. He was just that real guy, and he acts to this day like he hasn't done anything in the game. That's what makes him special in my mind.
2 down here in the 9th inning with a runner at first. DJ Peters batting right now. Lined out to left field last time up. Pitches here in the 9th inning for Winginter. Kind of started tough. Diaz hit a home run off him to begin the inning, but he's settled in. Give up a base hit here with 2 down, and now trying to get the final out of this one. Ahead 0-2. the dirt, and it evens at 2-2. Rocky Gale on deck here, but Winginter would like to take care of business with 2 down in the 9th inning. Fouled straight back to the screen. I was going to say that Padres faithful are standing as 1, but there's only like 3 people standing. So
standing as 3?
They're standing as a couple of people. So not quite standing as 1. That's strike 3 in the ball game. Winginter with back-to-back Ks to end the 9th inning. The Padres with a big 6th inning, scoring 7 times, will win this Cactus League game today. 10-5 is the final. We will step aside and come back here to Peoria Stadium after this.